What's up, everybody? Welcome into the Fantasy Six-Pack News Cycle. I'm your host, Dylan Clemens. Here with me, as he seems to always be, is Michael Plant. What's up, my friend?
Might as well be living with you at this point. I'm with you on the camera so much. Doing well. How about yourself, man?
Doing well. Excited to talk a little bit of football news that we've got over the past week or so. And then we had some big news today regarding Alvin Kamara. So, excuse me. Before we get into it, though, I'd like you just to remind you to please head on over to fantasy6pack.net/plans and check out our memberships that are available. Guys, we had the number 2 ranker in the business last year in Joe Bond, and his rankings are over there. You can come join our Discord as well. You can ask him any questions you want about your roster, and he'll answer them for you. You got myself in there. You got Michael Plant in there. We even just brought in Chris Robin, who's doing the DFS stuff with Dave Eddy this season. So this is can't miss stuff, guys. I promise you. Yeah, you won't be disappointed when you go to fantasy6pack.net/plans and check out those plans and use promo code F6P NFL for 15% off.
And trust me, we all find it funny when Joe gets bombarded with questions and he's annoyed.
He's never annoyed. But also, before we jump into things, I just wanted to remind you, if you're looking for a new platform to play fantasy football on, you should join Fantrax, the most customizable fantasy football website there is. You need a scoring setting, guys. You'll be able to find it on that site. It's absolutely fantastic. And actually, just a quick plug here. You should join us Monday night, Mike, where we're doing a live mock draft with 4 of our users from our Discord and 8 of us analysts. So that'll be a good time, and we're doing that on Fantrax. So go sign up today.
Yeah.
But Mike, what do you say we just jump right into the news now, finally?
Which one do you want to jump into first?
Let's do the Alvin Kamara stuff that came out today. We kind of assumed he was going to get suspended after the stuff that happened in Las Vegas a couple years ago at the Pro Bowl. We thought it would be longer than 3 games, but that's what he ended up getting.
Sure, so
good news for the Saints and good news for Alvin Kamara owners. Mike, my question to you is, where does this make you comfortable drafting Kamara with upcoming drafts?
Well, I just adjusted the rankings before we hopped on the show here. I had a lot of speculation because I really thought that Kamara was possibly going to miss like half the season here. So I had him, just being safe, had him at RB30.
Mm-hmm.
Just because we didn't know what was going on, but now that we got the full, tagline out, he's only going to miss 3 of, 17 games. I mean, not even a full quarter of the season. I had to move him up at least in a, low end RB2 territory for now. I moved him up 7 spots to RB23, just above Rashad White and Alexander Madison, and just behind James Conner and Dameon Pierce, just because, barring any injuries, we all assume that those guys around that range are all going to be playing 17 games.
Right.
Now he still might make his way up a little bit more depending on what we see with training camp and all that. It really is just kind of a big bummer for all the people out there getting Kendre Miller and Jamal Williams late in drafts. Mm-hmm. Hoping that they were going to get majority of the workload this season. And, now we found out it's just, it's going to be like it has been for the Saints, however long it's been, it's a 2-headed monster there.
Right.
So I'm still hesitant to get him, but if you can get him as an RB2, RB3, that's completely fine. It's just you do not want him as your RB1 this year. So, stay away from him until that, back end RB2 in that 20 to 24 range when you're drafting him, for at least for me personally. How about you?
Yeah, man, I'm kind of with you there, Mike. He might even be a little further down for me, but I'm looking over on fantasy6pack.net and checking out our consensus rankings, and only one person has submitted rankings since the Kamara news, and it's our good buddy Michael Bonney, Mike. And
that's actually shocking to me.
All the way up to RB16. Too spicy for you, huh?
You and I both know Ike personally. That's his boy. I mean, maybe that may be just a little bit of, he's got extra faith in him, and that's his boy. And I get it, but no, that's a little bit too high for me. I still would rather have somebody that like a Dameon Pierce, like a, Miles Sanders.
Sure. And then let's talk a little bit about Jamal Williams' side of things here. He's going on our site. We have him ranked as RB 37, dude. So you're getting him way down there. He's going behind Rashad Penny, Antonio Gibson, Brian Robinson, which I think as he should be besides Brian Robinson. Are you still okay taking him there, or would you rather have Damian Harris, Samaje Perine, Tyler Algier, Elijah Mitchell, Jerick McKinnon? Would you rather have those guys over Williams?
P. Ryan, I'll take over Williams just because I'm still not high on Javonte Williams getting a big workload this year coming off the multi-ligament injury. A lot of good news coming out of camp for him, which is great. I like to hear it, but we've seen
they're going to use Samaje still. It's going to be a split. It's going to be,
and I still think it leans Samaje though, because with the multi-ligament, injury, it takes longer than just your 9 months normal.
Yep.
Now Jerick McKinnon, give me Jamal Williams over Jerick McKinnon. Damian Harris though is a little interesting though. Just a better offense, more touchdown opportunity there. They're basically playing the same role. Jamal Williams is going to be the short yardage back. Damian Harris is going to be short yardage back. Maybe, they get a little bit of PPR work, but majority, James Cook in Buffalo and Alvin Kamara in New Orleans is going to get majority of the PPR work. So they're kind of like right there for me, but because the offense is better, I'd take Damian Harris. Elijah Mitchell had the injury news come out where he's got like I can't remember what exactly it was, but it was a strain of some sort of
That's no surprise to anyone, though. He struggles to stay on the field, man.
They said, though, it was very, very minor for muscle strains, like the very least it could be. And they said, like, maybe out a week for that. But still, I would rather have Jamal Williams or Damian Harris because, CMC is going to take the majority of that workload in that offense. So, I mean, like I said, You're really banking on Jamal Williams to do what he did last year for the Lions in this offense because he's basically kind of inherited the same role.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, I'll tell you what he's not going to do. He's not going to score 18 touchdowns or whatever it was.
Not on this offense. No, I don't think on this. I mean, now granted, we could be, downplaying Derek Carr a little bit.
Yeah, definitely. I'm a fan of Derek Carr. I am. I think he's a solid NFL quarterback, but I could see Jamal Williams maybe fall out of the end zone 10 times this season. What? Or do you think that's too high?
I'm more worried about it's the yardage because, there's touchdown regression, coming for Jamal Williams. There's no doubt about it. But I'm more worried about the yards because when you get the touchdown regression, you get the yards to help even out that regression. And he's not going to be getting those yards, I think, just because of the Alvin Kamara suspension only being 3 games now.
Sure.
If it was 8, he would have had plenty of yards to help make up for that regression.
Yep, I 100% agree. And then give me your quick 30-second take on Kendre Miller, and what do you think about how does this impact him?
I mean, he's probably impacted the most because he was looking to assume that second role like Jamal Williams is
definitely
right
not
now.
Good.
No, it's not good. But, I mean, you were getting him cheap, whether it be dynasty or, second-round dynasty or redrafts like in the late teen rounds. But just watch out for him at the end of the year. I mean, we know Alvin Kamara. He deals with some injuries from time to time. Jamal Williams, if he, gets banged up. Kendre Miller's the next man up, and it's a 2-headed monster in New Orleans. So he may just be your prototypical rookie running back that gets going at the last half of the season.
Yeah, for sure. And then some news, Mike, that came out last week, which was huge news. We just happened to be at a bachelor party. Shout out our good buddy Pete. It was an absolute blast down in Florida. But we want to talk about Joe Burrow and this calf injury, man, calf strain. It looked really bad when it happened. Like people thought maybe Achilles, but luckily it was just a calf. He's going to miss a chunk of time, maybe leading into the regular season. Let's hope not, though. Mike, I'm just going to keep this simple for you. On our at fantasy6pack.net, he is the consensus number 5 quarterback we got over there, ahead of Justin Fields, Justin Herbert, and Trevor Lawrence. I'm curious your thoughts here. Like, should he be going behind those guys now that he's going to deal with this calf injury for some time?
It's funny you say that because that's actually my exact rankings. Burrow at 5, Fields at 6, Herbert at 7, Lawrence at 8.
I really think you got to put Herbert over him. I really think so.
Well, here's the thing with Herbert, and I am being a little bit of a pessimist, but it's a realistic thing here. He's got a new offensive coordinator. He's learning a new offense. He's gonna have growing pains in that offense. It's gonna happen, and you know as well as I do, their receivers are not gonna be healthy all year.
Stop it.
But so that there are just more. Like I'm a big believer, and I don't want to invest in a player that's getting hurt in the training camp or preseason beforehand. But here's the thing, though. He got hurt in training camp, not preseason, training camp. Not a preseason game, but training camp, to where he has a full month still, to rehab this calf strain. And, we know calf strains can linger on. So the biggest thing is we just don't want them to bring him back too soon. And I was listening in on a interview with Jamar Chase today they had at the training camp. And Jamar Chase literally says, he goes, dude, I told him with all honesty, I don't want you there if you're not 100%. So like that gives me fear that, if he's not even good by week 1, he may miss week 1. Which, I mean, week 1 against the Browns, do you want him getting beat up by Myles Garrett and Zadarius Smith?
Not really.
So,
not really. But I feel like he's the competitor, man. He's going to be out there, whether he's
going to want to.
Or 100%. Yeah.
I just think that offense is more explosive. We've seen it more consistently from Burrow. So, as long as they play it safe and they're cautious, or, I still think Burrow needs to be there. Now, if we get, like setback news within the next couple of weeks, absolutely. We're going to be moving those rankings around, because any sort of setback is going to extend that, time period where he may miss like week 2, week 3, possibly then as well. If it's just one game, it's not a big issue.
Yeah, for sure. And last year around the same time, he suffered he had to get an appendectomy as well. I don't know if you remember that. He was out.
It was actually around the same date.
Yeah, he was missed most of training camp last year and still came out guns a-blazing. So, but the last bit of news, Mike, we should touch on here is Cooper Kupp sidelined with a hamstring injury, man. And this is scary with him being 30 years old. The age cliff is coming here more than likely soon. And he is kind of the third wide receiver off of boards right now behind Justin Jefferson and Jamar Chase. And he's usually going in the first round of drafts. Mike, does this concern you to the point where maybe you move Stephon Diggs ahead of him? Maybe Cooper Kupp falls out of the first round?
I wouldn't be moving Stephon Diggs above him. Maybe Tyreek Hill. I mean, you can make a case for Tyreek Hill. Because for me, like my tier, I mean, if you want to be specific, Justin Jefferson's, above. Yeah. But I group them together. I got 4 wide receivers in my tier 1. Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase, Cooper Kupp, Tyreek Hill in that order. So, if we get, bad news about the hamstring, because we know those are just not good for any football player at all. But I mean, I am getting news. Today, actually, it was at 12:46 a.m. today. Schefter, reported that Mike LaFleur, the offensive coordinator for the Rams, said the status of Cooper Kupp, who hurt his hamstring this week. He is day to day. He'll be back in the right time and stuff like that. So he's just going through the rehab process, but he's day to day. He'll be all right.
Good.
So, I mean, that's good news. But again, it's the same thing as Joe Burrow. If we get a setback news tomorrow, week, then we're making adjustments here to our rankings. And, Tyreek Hill is going to have to go above Cooper Kupp at that point. Maybe Stephon Diggs.
You make a good point, Mike. I think I would lead Tyreek Hill slightly over Cooper Kupp now. It's in that Miami offense because of this injury. It could linger. It really could. He could have a setback. I'm a little worried about it, but I'm still okay taking him in the first round. I would take Tyreek Hill in the first round too, but that's just me. But you have anything else to add, or do you want me to wrap her up?
I mean, yeah, pretty much it is. Unless any bad news comes out again, with setbacks with Cooper Kupp, he's still a first round pick in my opinion.
Yeah, for sure. But that wraps up this edition of the Fantasy Six Pack News Cycle. Before you get out of here, please smash that like button. Please subscribe if you haven't already. Make sure you hit that bell for the notifications as well, as we are going live Monday night for a good old-fashioned Monday mock draft, Mike. I couldn't be more excited. But in the meantime, make sure you head on over to fantasy6pack.net/membership/plans and check out those memberships, man. My mind is working faster than my mouth.
We gotta get a page, fantasy6pack/memberships. Just get it up.
Yeah, no, absolutely, no doubt. And then head on over to Fantrax if you're looking to move your league to a different platform this offseason, the most customizable fantasy football platform there is. But for Michael Plant, I'm Dylan Clemens. We'll talk to you next time.
Peace.